Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Math 44. We are in section 1.4, which is on variable expressions. This is video number B. And here we're going to take a look at the distributive property with variable expressions. And here, this is where we get our A and our B and stuff like I was telling you about before. So the distributive property says if we got a bunch of things, it doesn't matter if they're variables or they're numbers or anything like that. A with parentheses B plus C is the same as A times B plus A times C. This is a two-way street. This is the distributive property. I can have 2 times x plus 3y. This becomes 2 times x plus 2 times 3y. And we end up with 2x plus 6y. 2 times 3 is 6. That's going that direction, or we could go the other direction. That's going left to right on our equation. If I started with 5x minus 10 or 15y, this is 5 times x minus 5 times 3y. And 5 comes outside like that. This going right to left in that equation, in the distributive property equation, the way I listed it, this is called factoring, which we have an entire chapter for. I want to say it's chapter 3 or 4. 4. Okay. But that's what's going on. Something called like terms. Like terms have same variables with same exponents. The number in front, I don't know if I told you it earlier. The number in front, called the coefficient, that's 2 F's, can be different. So just to give you an example. The coefficients here are the 5, -3, +10, +17, and -7. So the sign that goes with them. Things that are like terms. 5x squared and 10x squared. That's a set that's alike. -3xy squared plus 17xy squared is also alike. Not -7x squared y. We still have similar exponents, but they're on the different letters, so it doesn't match up. For like terms, we can combine like terms by adding coefficients. Or subtracting if you got negatives and it's easier to see that way. Five x squared plus 10x squared. The reason why this works is it's this distributive property going backwards. This is 5 plus 10 times x squared. So we pull out or factor out the x squared, and we have 5 plus 10 is 15. Likewise, for the negative 3xy squared plus 17xy squared. This is negative 3 plus 17 times xy squared, which is 14xy squared. And I think I'm a little bit, I might be under the visualizer symbol. Okay. Sometimes we've got a lot going on. Let's take a look at 26. 2a squared plus 3b squared minus 4b squared minus 3a squared. We're looking for things that are like. A strategy I like to do when there's a lot, and I think you might like it too, is use underlines, but a different amount of underlines so that you can pair them up. I have an a squared here, and I look for more a squareds, and I see one at the end. And then the next thing I have is a b squared, and I see I have another b squared. I'm going to use 2 underlines here. By using a different amount of underlines, or maybe using like a lightning bolt and a loop-de-loop or something like that, I can see that these go together and these go together. So I have 2 minus 3a squared plus 3 minus 4b squared. That is negative 1a squared, or just negative a squared, and negative 1b squared, or just negative b squared. Okay. Thirty's got just doing the same thing. It's got 3 of them. Oh, it's worth showing though. I see something that's worth noting. So I'm going to start on the left and see if I have other things that match up. I've got a z here, a z squared there, and a z squared there. I have an x squared here, an x squared here, and an x squared here. And I have yx and xy. Are these the same? Well, think about 2 times 3. Does that equal 3 times 2? Yes. This is 6 equals 6. Yx is equal to xy. We can change the order of multiplication. And addition. 2 plus 3 is the same as 3 plus 2. It's called the commutative property. Because commute is like moving to work. These things are moving around. So it turns out these are like I'm going to use a little lightning bolt to indicate them. And then I'll go through and just follow what I've got. I've got z squared plus z squared. This is where the 1 is helpful. Having a 1 there, if I put it in, I can see this turns into 1 plus 1 z squared. It always helps if you're confused, think of an object in real life that you know. 1 cup of milk, or a cup of milk plus another cup of milk is how many cups of milk? 2 cups of milk. So that'll be 2z squared. Then I have same thing here. I've got a 1, a minus 1, and minus another 1 on x squared. So that ends up just being overall a negative 1. And then I have, these are the same. So I've got a positive 1 and a negative 1, which is 0. 0xy, we don't even need to write. That's what that simplifies to. Things to pay attention for. Let's take a look at 42. Negative 3 minus parentheses x minus 3. This is kind of like minus 1 times x minus 3. We want to take, and I can't combine x and negative 3 because I don't know the value of x. These cannot combine. I see students do this all the time, say that's negative 3x. It's not. Don't do that. But we can take this and distribute this doing the distributive property, or doing the same thing here without writing in the 1. I have minus x, and then I have minus negative 3. That one came from there, and that one comes from there. So that turns into negative 3 minus x plus 3. I told you the addition, we can change the order. You have to keep the things together. If it helps you to keep the things together, write negative numbers with a plus in front of them. And then you can change the order of anything that's with pluses between them. I can put the 3 before the negative x. These two combined, that's 0. This just ends up being negative x. Or you can recognize right here that they're just the numbers and you can add them together. We want to go left to right, but this is really what's going on. With addition, we have the commutative property. We can change the order around. Also, pay very, very close attention to the negative number, or negative in front of a parentheses. It distributes to everything, and it may change signs. Students remember a lot to do it on the first one. They often forget to apply it to the second one. It's got to go to everything on the inside. Okay. Wow, there's some madness going on here. 46. Let's do 46. First thing we want to do is distribute these numbers in front. 6 times z is 6z. 6 times negative 12 is negative or -2 is -12. Then I'll distribute the 3 here. 3 times 3z is 3 times 3 is 9s, so 9z. And 3 times 2 is 6. Now we combine like terms. No variables count as like terms. So 6z plus 9z is 15z. And -12 plus 6 is -6. So that's the single underline and that's the double underline. Okay. And I'll pause this or stop this and make another video for translating sentences to words or numbers. Peace.